All right, welcome back, you beautiful bastards. Look before you leap. I Is there something down there? Let's see. Okay, there was. The leaves perfectly covered that, so I could not see. Let me get this feather. Why not? Ah. Hmm. So, my God, we got a lot right there to do. I guess I'll head this way and we can do this mission. Oh, and a horse that just perfectly is here. Totally mine. But yeah, maybe that's how I'll do it. I'll do a side episode doing all the stuff I can. And then, do a main story episode because we know that this mission is probably going to take up the majority of the episode. Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
Excuse me. I see that you have a feather here. That's very important to me. Ah, my God. Getting flashbanged. Huh? Well, I mean, oh, oh, stop it. I don't know how I killed you. I would have shot the horse. More like it. Can I? That's what I have to do now. I have to just violently freaking. That's probably horrible sounding. I'll just go back to padding. Can you hear that? Can you hear that noise? Oh, trip mines. I am never going to use those. Well, this was a nice little diversion to pad out the episode. So we just have to do this and then the main story mission, and then we're done. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. What we have in the convoy, huh? Better be something good. $750. There's nothing in this one. What the hell? Look. What? I did loot the wagons. What are you talking about? I'll fetch another tree. Right here. Might as well do it. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Come on. No wonder Ubisoft has become Ubi Slop. With frickin' uh, quality control like that. Not surprised. You don't see that in a Rockstar game. Man, this is like almost the exact same tree. You don't see that in a Rockstar game. They make sure that every tree's different. Oh, lighthouse. I'm gonna have to read about that, I bet you. I bet you $1 million. If I go to that lighthouse, I'm gonna have to read about it. Because everyone cares about a lighthouse, and I'm dead. This tree did not have a hay bale there, apparently. The other one did. And I think the other one did not. Ubisoft is breaking their goddamn continuity. Freaking every goddamn synchronization point should have a hay bale. That's just how it works. That's what it's supposed to be. Failed? What good are you then, man? Get the fudge out of here, Clipper Wilkinson, you stupid goddamn name. That's the only reason why I hired you. You can't even do your job. It's almost like you're not qualified. That I shouldn't hire someone based on their name alone. Relic acquired. Recipe acquired, what am I saying? A bunch of goddamn nonsense I know about. Also, we did not have to read about this lighthouse. No one cares about a lighthouse, I guess. Come on. After all the reading I've done across these 4 games so far, you would think that, there would be some goddamn lore behind this that they would find. This was the lighthouse that freaking George Washington sailed across. Look at that. Hey, Bale. Eye drops. They had eye drops back in the day? This far back? Really? Isn't that just water and bleach? I already had the recipe for barrels, but maybe now I can make, like, other barrels. Also, hello, guys. Boston Light, there is one. Haha, I was right. Everyone cares about it. My God, there's a little bit of a delay. This was the first lighthouse in North America built to help guide ships into Boston Harbor at night. Of course, this made it a prime target for the revolutionaries during the Siege of Boston. They attacked and burned the building. When the British began to repair it, they returned and burned it again. Of course, the British did them one better. When they left Boston Harbor in 1776, they blew up the entire lighthouse behind them. It was a very confusing time to be a lighthouse fan. Do I like them? Don't I like them? I felt the same way about light jazz. A new lighthouse was built in 1783, so it persists and survives, despite all efforts to destroy it, much like light jazz. Start mission. Boy who cried wolf. I didn't know these were missions.
8 months in the
Daniel
Kentucky frontier,
Boone, I read
trapping and
about
skinning
you.
elk. Well along my 3rd bale when they came upon us. No less than a dozen Shawnee hunters had us surrounded at the point of musket and arrow. My bush partner froze up stiff. The fear chilled me the same, but I managed to muster what little Shawnee I was knowing. The leader spoke too quick, but I gathered we was poaching, having crossed into their territory a month or so hence. Their musket barrels stared us down, the heads of their arrows smiling sharp at our backs. I bumbled a proposition and busted Shawnee. Our full piece, my 3 bales, and my partner's 2 less a half, in exchange for us quitting the Shawnee bush on our own legs. Leader nods to his boys. They load up our take and start back into the trees. The honcho stays a spell longer, just staring right through us with his 2 black eyes. And then he was gone.
A shark?
Up, set back east the way we came. Months of profit lost, but our own
Dull
hides intact. Never saw the Shawnee again, but I know they was following us. I could feel their eyes on our backs, clear to North Carolina.
Oh, that was it. Oh, look for clues at the frontier. Okay. Well, hey, at least I kept track of all that. That's going to be a hell of a thing. I'm not.
And state your business.
Hold on. Wrong one. Sorry. Like how important is this? I mean, this is just challenge 1. Look for clues at the frontier camp. What would that look like? Did- did- what's the point of tracking? Is this it? This is the frontiersman camp? I don't know. I think so. Is that story mission? I mean, does that mission have story in it for me to put it in a video or no? Whatever. You're not gonna hit me. Look at this. If anything, you're gonna slice off my head with that freaking bayonet. Conflict looms.
I'm looking for Israel Putnam.
On whose orders?
Samuel Adams.
Follow me.
Okay. Swish, 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 swish. I always loved Connor's like
This is not
swishy
Bunker Hill.
Aye, it's Breach. There's been some
freaking
disagreement as
whatever you call them, coattails or whatever. Let me just send these guys in.
where we should encamp.
Any news from Boston?
The Tories aren't moving.
Hold on, we gotta read about the Battle of Bunker Hill. June 17th, 1775. Bunker Hill was one of the first battles of the Revolutionary War. Technically, the rebels lost, but it was a what? Pyrrhic victory for the British. What the? Look at this. Who uses that word? Tell me. Who's the last person in the world who has used that word naturally? Huh? Let's see. Pyrrhic. Pyrrhic. Hmm. Of a victory won at too great a cost to have been worthwhile for the victor. Ooh, okay. Pyrrhic. A Pyrrhic victory. Okay. So that's something that you would probably see freaking in your history class. But okay. But it was a Pyrrhic victory for the British. Let me set this up a bit. There were 2 places where rebel forces would have been able to mount attacks on British-occupied Boston. One was the Charlestown Peninsula to the north, and the other was the Dorchester Heights to the south. One rumor started with that the British were going to fortify the hills around Charlestown. The rebels decided to act, by which I mean do something, not put on a little play. Didn't have to clarify that. On the night of June 16th, 1775, troops under the command of William Prescott sneaked into the peninsula, occupied Bunker Hill, and built fortifications on Breed's Hill. It was a tactically terrible choice. Breed's Hill was easier for enemies to climb, much more open to attack, and close enough to the British ships in the harbor to come under fire. In fact, Prescott's orders were to fortify Bunker Hill. It's uncertain why he made the switch. Maybe he had terrible with be words. I'm terrible with words in general, so, he's one step ahead of me at least, like Bunker and Breeds. He probably thought he was fighting against the Belgians, not the Brits. Fortunately for the rebel army, it seemed the British were almost as tactically inept as they were. When General Howe landed troops at Moulton's Hill, he waited for reinforcements rather than attacking immediately. This gave the rebel forces time to shore up their fortifications. When Howe finally did attack, he divided his forces, expecting the disorganized rebel army to fall before him, which it didn't. In fact, the British forces attacked and retreated twice before winning the day. After they received more reinforcements and the rebels were mostly out of ammunition. The casualty reports are telling: 228 British soldiers dead, including many of their officers, and more than 800 injured. On the rebel side, 301 injuries and only 140 deaths. The Continental Army had shown they could hold their own against the better trained British Army, and it's hard to say which side was more surprised by that. It still surprises me to this day. I mean, that is,
Every time we try to press them,
that
we
is
lose a lot of
surprising.
men. I think Putnam and the others
New
plan
weapons.
to assemble artillery on these hills. A good shelling might make the Redcoats
Screw
rethink
this
their
mission. Let me
strategy.
go get my new
And
weapon.
what of John Pitcairn?
That bastard's the cagiest of the bunch. He's appeared time to taunt us or send regards by way of cannon fire. It's all right, though. He'll have what's coming to him soon enough.
Oh my god. Frickin' am I headed to heaven? This is so freaking bright. My god. I can barely see. Don't look in that direction. We're freaking. This is the Battle of Bunker Hill. Did we get spoilers? What the? Oh,
Putnam's just up ahead. You can't miss.
I don't
Uh,
care much for your excuses, gentlemen. We should be building on Bunker Hill. Breeds is closer to the city, but it is also closer to their artillery.
Our orders came from men so devoted.
hold on. With its valid points, Bunker Hill. This is the largest hill on the Charlestown Peninsula and the closest to the mainland. During the Battle of Bunker Hill, rebel reinforcements arriving on the Charlestown Peninsula headed to Bunker Hill, but weren't sure what to do once they got there. Rather than joining the battle, which was raging on Breed's Hill nearby, they wandered aimlessly around Bunker Hill, so disorganized that they hadn't even brought a picnic. Hey, boo, there's a picnic basket over there. Yeah, we took it. That's why they didn't have one. Israeli, how do you say that first name? Israeli Putnam was there attempting to direct troops, giving valuable instructions such as the famous "don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes," which he probably said several times to anyone who'd listen, and to be fair, it's a pretty good quote. That seems to be the only one of his directions that stuck. Many of his other orders were either misunderstood or deliberately disobeyed. Given the disorganized state of the Continental Army at the time, it was probably a little bit of both.
From the situation, we are compelled by reason to employ our own faculties to make a proper determination.
Were that I could understand even half that nonsense you just uttered.
What's not to understand? I'm trying to ensure our victory.
Where would you know about victory? I killed a she-wolf in her den armed with only a knife. I escaped the Kanawagha Indians who
The
sought
Kanawagha?
to burn me alive. And I was the sole survivor of a shipwreck during the Battle of Havana. So you will
Havana?
excuse me if I choose not to follow your advice.
Havana. Ooh, nah. Yeah. Might put that in the editing or not. Who knows? I probably will. Oh, Wilhelm scream.
I rest my case. I'm going back to Bunker Hill. Good day, gentlemen!
General Putnam,
What?
I'm looking for Johnny. I was told you would be able to help me find him.
He's tucked away inside that city with no reason to leave. As long as that ship continues its assault, we'll never flush him out.
But if the ship was silenced,
Oh, then poor John is forced to get off his arse and come forward.
fly this flag to signal my success.
And I shall speak fondly of you at your funeral.
What? Wow. No goddamn faith. I mean, freaking hell. Connor is a little, ballsy. I mean, he's one man. He's a really freaking skilled person, but I mean, still. Israeli Putnam, more affectionately known as Old Put, is something of a legendary figure in the Revolutionary War history, and possibly its best-known soldier. A bit of a folk hero, if you will. Putnam was born in, but later moved to Connecticut to take up farming. He's credited with killing the last wolf in the colony, crawling into its den with a musket, a torch, and a rope tied around his feet so he could be pulled back out. He really didn't like wolves. Oh, and I believe I mentioned he was a folk hero? That's only part of it. He joined the colonial army during the French and Indian War, where he earned a reputation for bravery and inspiring the soldiers around him. He was captured by a group of freaking, Native Americans. But that's a hell of a name. You would have to tell me it like 10 times, and I still wouldn't remember. In 1758, and rescued just before he was to be executed. In 1762, he was shipwrecked in Cuba while on a campaign there where, you'll love this, he learned about cigars. He became a habitual smoker, habitual, and is credited with introducing the cigar to the colonies. Hence why he was smoking one there. They adding little details to his character. He was born in 1718, my God. Somehow doesn't have a lick of gray hair. After the war ended, Putnam returned to Connecticut, where he was a vocal opponent of the British tax policies that led to the Revolution. He founded the Connecticut branch of the Sons of Liberty. When he heard about the Battle of Lexington and Concord, he immediately signed up for the Continental Army and was named Brigadier General of the Connecticut Forces. He commanded troops at Bunker Hill, and at the near success of the rebels, there sealed his reputation. Washington had high hopes for Putnam as a leader, and he was named Washington's second-in-command in New York just prior to the Battle of Long Island. Spoilers, come on! Jesus Christ, we're not there yet. Unfortunately, Putnam was a good soldier, but a poor tactician. The battle at Long Island was a rout. Putnam fared no better at his next post guarding forts on the Hudson River, where he was outmatched by General Henry Clinton. Oh my God. After that, Putnam requested to be assigned to recruitment, and Washington agreed. Still, at least he had cigars. Okay, cross Charlestown without taking damage. Easy. Easy, I'm just gonna run straight through it. I'm not gonna take a lick of damage, guaranteed. Hold on, I gotta read about Charlestown, as frickin' cannonballs land near me. Charlestown is the name of both the small town to the north of Boston and the peninsula it sits on. See what I was saying about, all these lore entries? You get like 15 of them, frickin' in one mission. But then you like some other stuff, you don't get anything. It's a lot of padding to read all this. I still always debate if, if it's worth doing. The peninsula was the site of the Battle of Bunker Hill, which was sometimes called the Battle of Charlestown, since the fighting did span across more than one hill. This is also where Paul Revere started his well-known midnight ride, which I still think sounds more like something you do with a lady. Hey, you can do that any time of the day or night. Doesn't have to be midnight. As to the town of Charlestown, well, while it was established prior to 1775, little of it survived the Battle of Bunker Hill. Continental Army snipers were stationed here to harass British troops, and the British set fire to the town to root them out. Most of the buildings were razed, and the rest were burned during a raid in January 1776. More spoilers, what the hell? The only part of the town to survive the war was the street layout. Charlestown was rebuilt, however. It's now a part of Boston. Don't worry, we're gonna be fine. We'll go this way. How you doing, sir? Doing well? Oh, that one was close. I felt the breeze on my britches. I'll just go this way, then go over here. We should be fine. Whoa. Just avoid all of that hecticness. Oh, look at that. Good. Okay. Air assassinate a grenader. Remain undetected while on board of ships. Huh. So the problem is I'm gonna have to figure out what a grenader looks like. How do I get out? Right here, right here. This is it. That might be a... Nope, that's just a regular soldier. Oh, oh. Is that a regular soldier? I don't know. That might be a grenader. Whoop. Hey, I'm undetected. Okay. Restart trip break. So, once again, because they fall in the water, I can't remain undetected, like somehow falling in water, they immediately know where I am. They know the approximate location where I am, but they shouldn't be alerted. See, now that's a grenader, isn't it? That is a freaking grenader. He has a special little hat on. See, now they don't know. Okay, now they're going back. You know, that's a regular guy right there. Okay. What's this over here? What? You have anything on you, man? Thank you. You don't see me. That was close. Okay, see now we got the problem. We got these two guys over here. I have to figure out how to take out. Do I have double blades already? Is that just natural? Huh? You don't notice me, man. What the fudge? Huh. You see, I might be able to take these two guys down immediately. He was a grenader. If that's how you say it. Grenadier. Oh, my camera. My camera. Boop. Ooh. That was close. Okay. I theoretically should be able to just double assassinate these guys, correct? Oh. Oh. Probably because I didn't have the blades, you know. Didn't have the blades. Great. God forbid Connor can't frickin' just naturally switch between the blades. Really extending the mission here, aren't I? Okay, see now they spot me there. What the? That makes no sense. How can I take that guy out one time? They don't see me, but then like 2 other times they do. I'm just saying, you know, there's some BS to this. Okay, so I was too far up, I'm guessing, and then that made him scream, and then that gets me instantly detected because I was a little lower there, and it worked, which I think the time it worked last was also when I was lower. This guy's going to be a nuisance, is he? Just going to stand there? So maybe I should take that guy out first. Maybe he's the one that's spotting me or something. I think this guy is actually going to be a goddamn nuisance. You don't see me. You don't see me. You don't see me. Ugh. Are my assassins done? He's back. Clipper. Here you go, man. You're going to do the same mission again. Maybe this time you can complete it. 85% chance. Come on. Anyway. Here we, poison darts. Did- Can I not shoot my poison darts here? Are they too far? Oh, okay. Camera got stuck again. This dude right here is just... Well, I think I might be screwed on this. I'll throw dart. Hold on. My guys are back. Connecticut did it. New Jersey, that's right. They're on New Jersey. It's all because these people aren't going back to their designated spots. And I need that grenader to fucking piss off. See, look at that. Now they're... If I get my gun out, could I shoot them from this range? No. What about here? Wrong button. I don't want... Bam. 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 And that just leaves fucking this jabroni over here. Ah. My God, that dude screwed everything up. At every turn, he screwed everything up. Freaking just wouldn't go back into his position, making it like impossible for me to be able to take these guys out. So fine, I'm going to take this guy out first. The problem child of the bunch. When it's clear to do so. Okay, that freaking the grenadier did nothing. He didn't care at all. Probably because I was lower. Wait for the grenadier. If I can go. Whoop. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And that's when I start to get frustrated. How there can be inconsistencies where I take the same guy out. And yet, for some reason, I get different results. If they're all in their same positions, then there should just be no difference. Yeah, that's the big problem, child, is freaking this one guy over here. And also this guy. Should be noted that they did take away my, I reloaded and they took away my stuff. That's a bit BS. Well, whatever. I don't, because I can do this. I feel like I can do this, and that's it's a horrible thing. Also, it was a bow and arrow. How did they immediately know where I was? Makes no sense. The game's cheating to just not give me full synchronization when I can obviously do it. And like, how did I get on the side of the freaking ship the last time? Okay, there we go. Freaking that little bit, he's fine with doing. We just go like that, and then we reset him like that, and then we drop down like this. And like, and that time they didn't care. They didn't instantly spot it. I don't know about this game, you know, you're scuffy. Okay. Hmm. We wait for a moment. Yes, yes. And they spotted that. How did they spot that? How? How? What freaking perception do you have? Those were the two, just this whole section. Somehow they were facing over here, and they heard me silently assassinate someone all the way over here. Oh no. Whatever. Whatever. I drug this out too much. I'll freaking suffer in silence. When the time comes to freaking do everything myself off screen to get full synchronization. So now that I'm spotted, I don't care. Let's just freaking get this over with and move on. Call it a day. Hey, sup guys? Reflex shot. I could use some ammo though. Ah, this guy had an arrow in him. Surprise, surprise. Whatever, we're good now. I just want to do this real quick. I want to loot one more person, you know, each fine. Oh, I was supposed to put the flags up there. And, you know, maybe they could figure it out on their own terms. That, you know, you see fire and smoke billowing from here. That I possibly did what I said I was going to do. You don't have to see an American flag or the colonial flag fly on a British ship to understand that something might be wrong. Plus, they stopped firing, you know? And judging from how fast those volleys were in between shots, in between volleys, whatever. If they stop shooting, then, you know, it's self-evident, right? But no. I have to put them on both, too. You know, that just makes sense. Oh, well, no. Okay. Okay. I take that back. Logic enough. Up, and we're done. Don't look. Don't look at that. That was some BS by the game. That is not me. Not my fault. New email. Wait, we're still on the mission? Breed sale. We gotta read about breed sale, of course. Oh, okay. It might be just this. Breed Hill. Technically, the Battle of Bunker Hill could have been called the Battle of Breed Hill. This is where the Continental Army built their main fortifications, and so the fighting happened here. Breed Hill had only one thing to recommend it over Bunker Hill. It was closer to Boston, which made it easier to fire artillery at the city. Though, of course, one disadvantage of this situation was that it was also a lot easier for Boston to fire back. Nobody knows why William Prescott chose the spot over Bunker Hill. It's possible that since he was working on fortifications in the dark, Prescott didn't realize how vulnerable the hill actually was until sun rose, by which point it was a little too late to up and move. I imagine that was probably quite an awkward moment. Is this just gonna spin right into the next mission? Did I not complete the last one? No, it gave me the full synchronization. Oh, am I railroaded now? I'm like in mission territory? I guess with all the fire and, stuff. It's a set piece and they can't just, everything's back to normal. They have to progress it and stuff. Which is nice, but not nice for a video that I spent so long trying to do a stupid objective that I got conned out of.
They've better numbers, you say. Better weapons, better training. But I do not fear. And neither should you. For what they have in material, they lack in conviction and care. But not us. We have discipline. We have order. And most importantly, we have passion. We believe. So maintain vigilance. Conserve your ammo. Ensure a proper line of sight. And above all else, men, do not fire until you see the whites of their eyes.
Okay, everyone break.
Well, I'll be damned. You did it.
That was quite a speech.
Lies, all of it, I'm afraid. Still, such words have carried us thus far.
And what of Pitcairn?
He's left Boston, as I said he would, and set up camp on Molten Hill. There's no good way to get at him. Not with that maelstrom brewing down below. I suppose you could circle around a bit, or wait for us to thin their ranks.
There is no time. I will have to chance a direct approach.
That's twice today you proposed the impossible.
I see no other choice.
Not because you're mad as a March hare, son.
I expect an apology on my return.
Well, I guess we have to call it here. There ain't no way I can do this. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode, you beautiful bastards. We all know I got full synchronization on that last mission, guaranteed. But the game was wanted to spite me. Anyway, I will see you in the next one where we will take out another one of our targets and get ever closer. So, bye-bye.